helped put that away. Lamar Simpson, Jeff Anderson, and Rob Riley, our officiating crew here at the Ryan Center tonight. Good to see Abu here. I was a little concerned with all the shoveling he was doing, but he paced himself, paid for it the next day or two like everybody else around Rhode Island. But it's good to have the power on and good to bring you Rhodey basketball here on Cox Sports. Here's Milosevic, opening possession, spinning inside. Tipped it, still fighting on the glass, and then tipped in by Jordan Hare.
You know, we had some conversation before the game, and it's really good to see that kind of effort from Nick Milosevic. Did not score the basket, but he got to the basket. That nice drive, had a couple of opportunities to tip that basketball in. Good effort by Nick Milosevic, and Jordan Hare stayed on that rebound to be able to come up with the second chance opportunity.
You heard Abu's keys to the game. The road ahead was brought to you by the Chevy Cruze, one of Chevy's 11 models offering 30 miles per gallon or better. Visit your New England Chevy dealer today for a great deal on a Chevy Cruze.
You know, one of the things Archie Miller is concerned about now is that he's got a very short bench. He has a couple of players with injuries not playing in this basketball game, and that's going to be an issue, I think, for them coming down the stretch.
Turnover as Rhode Island with the lead. Back the other way with Mike Powell. Powell had Hare for a brief second. Mumford throws it up, looking for contact. Couldn't get the hoop, but will get a trip to the free throw line.
Well, it's interesting. The first minute of this basketball game, very telling. We talked about Dayton needing to make certain that Rhode Island didn't have an opportunity to get second chance points. We saw Jordan Hare on the offensive rebound, tap that one back in, and all of a sudden they come down to the defensive end, and Rhode Island comes up with a turnover against Dayton. So Dayton right now not starting the game the way Archie Miller wants to see him.
So here's Mumford going to the free throw line, averaging 17.5 points a game. Can't make the first. 74% free throw shooter, leading the team in free throws made and attempted this year. We've seen his outside game, but we've also watched him not be afraid to take it to the basket and get some points at the free throw line. Still second in the conference. His first point. Dillard averaging 15 points a game. He's in the top 10 in scoring, top 5 in assists in the A-10. Here is Dillard. Oliver dropped down low. Scott trying to back in, and he'll score. That's Devin Scott, the freshman, averaging 1.5 points a game. Andre Malone. For Milosevic, now for Powell. Malone. That's a 2 for Andre Malone, number 3 scorer on the Rams this year at a little better than 10 points a game.
So far, Rhode Island starting out very well, shooting the ball well and rebounding the ball well, and at least one turnover in the early part of this basketball game.
Oliver left open, looked really good right out of his hand. We had a good look at that one. 24% three-point shooter. You wouldn't know it by that release.
No, that was a good-looking shot, and this is a very good three-point shooting team. So Rhode Island cannot afford to give them shots on the perimeter.
Oliver coming off a strong game against Temple. 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. His first points to even the game at 5. Here's Mumford taking it to the paint, but I think yes, he did. He's called for steps. Turnover. Rhode Island has done a good job this year taking care of the basketball, averaging a little more than 12 turnovers a game. However, in the loss to St. Bonaventure, they were above their average with 18 turnovers.
Uncharacteristic for Rhode Island to come up with that many turnovers in the game, and they certainly cannot afford to do that. They don't get very many opportunities on the offensive end because they play a very controlled pace. So when they have the basketball, they need to take advantage of it and be as efficient as they can be.
Left alone is Scott. Hare, the shot blocker, was there for a moment, but Scott puts it in. 4 quick points for Devin Scott.
Well, so far, Dayton finding holes in the Rhode Island defense. 1 shot on the perimeter, 2 opportunities on the inside. Rhode Island needing to tighten up their defense.
Milosevic can't knock it down. Here's Pierre with the rebound for Dayton. Scott off to a good start. Did not score in just 8 minutes of play last time out. Another open look. Tipped out by Scott, but into the hands of Mike Powell. 2-point Dayton lead. Mike Powell looks over to Dan Hurley for the call. They find Malone. Back out to Mumford. Mumford. Powell. Little fadeaway, a little too strong, and a rebound for Oliver. Third in the conference in rebounding at better than 8 a game is Devin Oliver.
Yeah, and Dayton, they do a nice job defensive rebounding. That time, all five players for Dayton inside the lane to come up with that rebound.
Pierre takes off down the lane, count the basket and the foul. Malone gets whistled for the foul as Pierre takes it to the hoop for his first 2. Second personal on Malone.
You see Andre Malone doing a good job actually defensively, but Pierre maintaining his dribble, did a nice little spin move down to the basket. Nice move by Pierre.
So Pierre will try to finish off the three-point play. The freshman from Whitby, Ontario, does so. And the Flyers have a 5-point lead.
And he's really stepped up his game in conference play. He's a third leading scorer on this Dayton team, so he certainly is going to be a threat for them throughout this evening.
TJ Buchanan into the game with Malone on the bench with the 2 fouls, and Mumford knocks down the 3. Well, Rhode Island has had a couple of open looks right in front of Archie Miller on that Dayton bench. Milosevic couldn't make the first, but that one knocked down by Mumford. There's Dillard. That won't go down, but there's a good job on the glass by Pierre, who Abu was just talking about, but couldn't control the dribble, and Milosevic has it with the push to Mumford. Wouldn't fall for him. Hare tipped it, and back the other way comes Dillard. Dillard goes for a tumble, and the foul's going to be called on Mike Powell. That'll get us to our first media timeout. It comes with 15:25 to go in the opening half, and a 2-point lead in the early going for the Flyers. So far, 4 for 6 shooting for Dayton, 3 for 9 for Rhode Island in the first 4 minutes plus of this game. We saw Matt Becker in for the Flyers. Also in is Jalen Robinson. And here's Dillard. Steps in for an open look. Kevin Dillard, his first point.
Such a nice move by Dillard. That time, Mike Powell does a nice job closing out on me. He just gives him a little pump fake. One dribble, steps in, jump shot.
Plenty of substitutions for both sides. Mike Amon is in for Rhode Island. Mumford, same spot. That one doesn't go down. Alwayne Bigby in for Rhodey as well. I mentioned Robinson for the Flyers. And Darren Becker also into the game is Josh Benson as the Flyers get a 3. 6 points for Dyshawn Pierre, averaging 7 a game. Good start for him, and it's the largest lead for the Flyers.
And Dayton shooting lights out from both the inside and the outside. Rhode Island, a lot of holes in their defense right now.
And a foul called on the Flyers. It'll be Rhode Island basketball on the side.
You know, we talked about it earlier, Eric. This team shoots the ball extremely well as a team from three-point land. And Rhode Island certainly is going to have to figure out exactly what is it that they want to perhaps give away. And certainly the three-point shot is something that Dayton shoots extremely well. That's something that they're going to have to shut down.
And Mike talked about it at the top of our telecast as well about defending the 3. Dayton at 38% on the season, the best in the A-10. Amen, tough catch, and an offensive foul called on the freshman. That'll be his first personal foul, and already 14 fouls on the Rams.
There you see Amon stepping in to try to take that left-handed shot inside the lane. Benson does a nice job coming up with the offensive foul.
Gibson to the basket, won't go. Robinson with the putback, and Dayton doing a pretty good job on the boards, and a timeout's going to be called here by Rhode Island. Well, you knew the Flyers would come out after letting one get away against.
So Rhode Island right now on the defensive end not showing the intensity that I expected to see them have early in this game.
Milosevic back into the game. That's one thing that Rhode Island has been able to take a lot of pride in this year is how they've played on the defensive end. Tied for 8th in the conference in field goal percentage defense as a foul is called here on Devin Oliver. Milosevic back on the floor. He's out there with Buchanan, Bigby, Amon, and Mumford. That's the 5 on the floor right now for Rhode Island.
You know, and defense is as much mental as it is physical. And mentioned early in the broadcast that mental toughness is something that Rhode Island would have to exhibit.
Milesevich knocks down the three. Dayton back the other way, couldn't finish. They got to the rim again, though, and here is Bigby. 6-point game. Mumford around for T.J. Buchanan. He's watched his minutes climb over the last few weeks. Milesevich fed to Amon. Spins it in for two. First points for the freshman, averaging a little bit better than 3 a game, and 5 quick points by the Rams to get right back into it. Knocked away by Milesevich. Dayton ball.
A nice post move on the inside by Mike Amon. Got the ball right on the block. Made a nice little step toward the lane fake. Went up with his strong hand, his left hand. And right now, Milesevich, I'm seeing some really good things from him early in this game. He really seems to be focused, playing very tough defensively, and has made a couple nice moves to the basket.
Sanford back in the game. He'll run the point with Dillard on the bench. Feeding into Gibson, trying to spin on Bigby. And Benson will go to the free throw line. Tough matchup there for Bigby. He's giving away 4 inches. Looks like a little bit more than that, but that's what the matchup is right now. And a foul on Bigby.
Well, this is a huge advantage for Benson. Shoots extremely well from the floor. 5th in the A-10 in field goal percentage at about 55%. So he shoots the ball well. They're going to get it down to him low because he's very efficient. And outweighing Bigby, he's just overmatched inside.
So here is the senior from Dayton. Benson makes the first. He's in the double figures on the season, averaging 10 a game. Had 12 last time out. He has really battled injuries throughout his career. Here comes Ryan Brooks into the game. His first appearance for Rhode Island. Benson had a torn left ACL last year, so his season ended after 14 games. He missed all of the 08-09 season with a torn labrum. A couple of free throws for the senior. And it's back to a 6-point lead for the Flyers. 13 wins overall in the season, but just 3 and 6 in conference play. Right now, they are on the outside of the tournament field in the Atlantic 10. So, in many ways, their postseason has begun if they want to get to Brooklyn. Brooks had it knocked out of his hands. Last touch by the Flyers, and it's Rhodey basketball.
And Dan Hurley certainly recognizing that Alwayne Bigby was certainly overmatched on the inside. Brings in Ryan Brooks, certainly for defense against Benson.
8 on the shot clock as Powell drops it off to Buchanan. Buchanan with 3 on the shot clock, and with 2 on the clock, T.J. Buchanan is fouled.
A huge bailout by Dayton that time. TJ really didn't have much of a shot there, and they simply bailed him out, fouled him on the arm. This is going to be a very difficult shot either way you looked at it.
Personal foul on Sanford, so that's 2 fouls on Sanford. As Buchanan at the free throw line makes the first. Talked about his minutes going up because his production has gone up. Last 8 games, averaging 6 points a game. That's double his season average. Shooting well from the floor at 54%, but he's out there to kind of settle things down and run the show off the bench to give Powell a little work. The 2 of them on the floor right now together.
Well, TJ is very solid, gives you a very good defensive effort. Not very flashy. Certainly had some injury problems last year. This year as well.
Tipped ahead. Here is Buchanan. Nice adjustment, but wouldn't fall for him. And the Flyers back the other way with Dillard on the move. Dillard to Gibson running the floor and finishing. Benson throws it down on the feed from Dillard.
They were so once again Rhode Island getting out on the fast break, not able to capitalize, taking advantage of Dayton turns right around with a fast break opportunity and they're able to score.
7-point lead is Milosevic to Amen, using some of that strength, and Mike Amen with 4 points off the bench to bring Rhode Island back within 5. Powell trying to make it tough on Dillard. Robinson off the window for 2. First points for Robinson. 6 different scores already for the Flyers. They have a 7-point lead.
Well, this team right now is giving it to Rhode Island every way they can. They're shooting you off from the outside. When they dump it down inside the paint, they're able to score as well.
Milosevic for Amen, now to Powell. 10:40 to go first half. Buchanan wants it. 10 on the shot clock. The feed to Amen. Spinning and traveling. Turnover Rhode Island. There'll be Flyers basketball when we come back. 23-16 the lead for the Rams. Was able to do 2010. Hit the game-winning 3 at Dayton. That crazy shot here at the Ryan Center in 09 at the buzzer, driving down the lane. So it is a 5-game winning streak for Rhode Island against the Flyers through the years, and a traveling violation whistled on Devin Scott out of the timeout. That's 3 turnovers for each team.
And 3 turnovers for each team. For Rhode Island, it's been a little bit more disastrous in that Dayton has been able to come down and score off their turnovers.
And Dillard's going to get whistled for the foul as he got tangled up with Mike Powell. That's his first personal. That's 5 team fouls now on each side. Malone back in the game, playing with 2 fouls with Powell, Mumford, Milosevic, and Amen. Mike getting an extended run here after knocking down a couple of field goals and a couple of threes now for Nick Milosevic. He has 6 points. He's really been struggling. 9 total points in his previous 2 games, but has the range here in the early going. And diving for loose balls. Well, that's what you want to see, especially from a senior, as Mumford back the other way. Milosevic, the kick to the corner. Powell will try a 3, and the 3-point shot usually there for Dayton. It's there for Rhode Island tonight.
And an assist for Nick Milosevic. Right now, Nick Milosevic is the guy that I want to get the ball into his hands. He seems to be very focused this evening, doing a great job on the offensive end, as you mentioned, on the defensive end as well.
There he is, reaching it again. Couldn't get the steal, though, as Oliver has it for the Flyers. Rhode Island seems much more engaged on the defensive end, but no stopping Pierre as he takes it to the basket. He already has 8 points.
A very impressive-looking freshman.
Amen kicked outside. Milosevic to Powell. Knocked away, but back in the hands of Amen. And here is Milosevic. Open 3. Well short. That was tipped up in the air, and they're going to say it's the last touch by the Flyers. The officials took a look at each other, and it will be Rhode Island basketball. Here comes Buchanan into the game as Malone will sit down. Well, Milosevic is a guy that we know can put up big numbers. He's gone for 20 points or more 7 times in his career, including 26 against Norfolk State. But it's been a roller coaster with him, no question about it. But he is climbing up that roller coaster, up the tracks tonight, it would appear. Here he is with the ball as Rhode Island has brought it to a 3-point game. Buchanan on the baseline for 2.
And here's where Rhode Island's mental toughness is coming into play. They are a mentally tough team. They've been very resilient. That's one of the things that Dan Hurley likes about this team. And as you can see, they are not giving up. They've gotten themselves back into this game.
Dillard can't hit the 3, and the rebound from Mumford. And the Rams want to run off the miss. The feed through to Buchanan to Amen. He couldn't finish, though. Everything but the field goal for the Rams. That trip is Dillard back the other way. Spinning, beautiful move to the basket for 2.
Boy, when Rhode Island has not been able to convert on the other end with layups, and that time you saw Mike Amen not able to get himself up off the floor to dunk that basketball, Dayton comes right back and takes advantage.
Here's Buchanan for Powell. Mike Powell takes it at Dillard. The drop down to Amen off a foot and the last footed touch belonged to the Dayton Flyers. Rhode Island basketball when we come back, but the Rams have brought it back to a three-point game here
in the corner for that three. And Nick Milesevich, 4 assists so far in this first half, which gives you an indication of just how much he's into this basketball game.
9 field goals for the Rams so far. They have 8 assists on those 9 field goals, and out of the timeout, Alwayne Bigby draws the foul.
And Alwayne Bigby's second appearance in this first half, and that's one of the reasons why Dan Hurley wants to put him in the basketball game. He's a very smart player, and here he has a great defensive play coming up with the offensive foul.
So that's the second personal foul now on Robinson, 2 on Sanford. Powell will try the three and make the three. Mike Powell comes through with his second three-pointer, and we're tied at 27. The Flyers led by 9. And now it's back to even. And it's still even as Buchanan comes away, and now Mumford with Jordan Hare back in the game in front of him. Mumford with a pull-up. Too strong, and foul called on Bigby as Benson drew the contact. That's going to be 16 fouls on the Rams and 2 personal fouls on Alwayne Bigby.
But Rhode Island has been looking to push the ball down the floor. There you see Alwayne Bigby just overmatched once again inside, and the only way he's going to come up with that offensive foul is to grab an arm or an elbow of Benson. But we saw Mike Powell come down. He likes the challenge of playing against one of the best point guards in the country. Mike Powell has the heart of a champion.
About the three-point shooting so far for Rhody, Abu. They're 5 of 8 on the season. They make on average 6 three-pointers a game, so it's not a huge part of their offense, but it has got them right back in the game here tonight.
And what they've done so very, very well is that they've been able to get open three-pointers. That one by Mike Powell was one of the more contested three-pointers in this game, but they've been getting open shots. They've been moving the ball well on the offensive end.
That's the second personal foul on Mike Powell. 17 fouls now on the Rams, and 1-and-1 for Kevin Dillard. 87% from the free throw line. That's 4th in the conference. Leading the team in scoring, in assists, and free throw shooting. Three-pointers made and attempted. Free throws made and attempted. Steals, you name it, he has done it for this Flyers team. As Archie Miller has said, we need a go-to guy. We need someone to step up, and Dillard has done all he can, but you know he's getting the ball. That was the case in the Temple game. Temple threw just about everybody at him late, and he turned the ball over a couple times, and in the end, Temple pulled out the victory. Hare couldn't score, and here come the Flyers.
Well, it looked like Dayton got away. Benson got away with the foul that time on Hare. Pushed him right in the chest. It's certainly the way it looked to me.
Hare standing his ground against Benson. Throws the outlet to Mumford, who takes it to the basket and is fouled.
And you know when Xavier Mumford gets up ahead of steam, he's going to take it to the basket and take it aggressively. That time he certainly did. He does a nice job with a sidestep when he takes it to the basket very often. That's one of the reasons why he's able to get fouled. 2 hard steps to the basket and a foul. Nice job, Xavier Mumford.
First free throw rolls in for Mumford for each free throw made by the Rams this season. At the Ryan Center, CVS Pharmacy will donate $25 to the Easter Seals of Rhode Island. CVS Pharmacy, proud partners of University of Rhode Island basketball. And a lane violation on Jordan Hare, so we will not see a second free throw from Mumford. 1-point lead for the Flyers inside of 6 to play first half. The Flyers shooting 55% from the floor, and we'll go back the other way. A whistle against the Flyers again.
Well, another good defensive play by Rhode Island. This time Xavier Mumford gets in the way of Kevin Dillard.
Second personal foul on Dillard. The best player for the Flyers has 2. He's heading to the bench.
You see good defensive position by Xavier Mumford here. There you see the obvious push-off by Kevin Dillard trying to create some space.
TJ Buchanan with it on the floor again with Powell. Back out for Powell. Substitution. Brian Vonderhaar, the senior from Cincinnati, just his 8th game this year. Dayton in some foul trouble here, so they're going deep into their bench. Amon couldn't score. Milesevic kept it alive, but it's controlled by Scott. Two fouls on Diller, 2 on Sanford, 2 on Robinson. And Sanford on the floor right now, playing with those 2. Pierre. Good job by Buchanan on Pierre, and a foul called on Amon. That'll be the 8th team foul on the Rams. 1-1 coming up. As Amon picks up the foul, that's his 2nd personal.
Well, here you see, unfortunately for Mike Amon, playing very well in this basketball game, by the way, very active. Plays behind the post player, and there's no reason, and you can see Dan Hurley demonstrating, no reason to foul over the top. If you're going to play behind the player, as opposed to playing him on the side or fronting him, there's no reason to try to go for the basketball because you've already given up your position. So now you have to just be able to defend him taking the shot. So freshman mistake by Mike Amon that time.
Dayton misses the free throw. The Rams take over, and it's kicked by V. Sanford. Rhode Island will hold on to it.
And there, Xavier Mumford not able to execute in terms of getting the ball to Nick Milesevic, but he was working with Coach Bobby Hurley before the game, sliding off that screen and being able to spot up for that jump shot. He did it very well. They double-teamed Mumford. Nick Milesevic was wide open, could have gone to the basket or taken that jump shot, but X was not able to get him the basketball.
Milesevic spinning, fading, can't score though, and Scott got a hand on it. Pierre controls it, and here comes Sanford. Pierre defended by Buchanan. Pierre, nice feed inside and a foul. Buchanan wanted a jump ball, but a foul called on TJ Buchanan.
And here's where Pierre taking advantage of learning how growing during this freshman season. He's a very impressive player. That time gets inside the lane and makes a nice pass down to Benson down low. And the only thing that TJ Buchanan could do is foul him underneath.
So Benson to the free throw line. Two for 2 tonight. 5 points for Benson. Here comes Devin Oliver back into the game as Pierre will sit down. This Dayton team 5th in the A10 in scoring, 71 points a game. Their magic number has been 75 points. It's for many teams, 7-0 this season. They've got 31 on the board with 4:15 to go in the first half. Flyers 0-4 on the road in conference play. Looking for their first conference road win. Rhode Island trying to snap a 6-game losing streak as Powell for Buchanan. Vonderhaar there defensively. And kicked by Vonderhaar. It'll be Rhode Island basketball when we come back to the Ryan Center. 3:53 to go in the first half.
For 8 from the three-point line, as you mentioned, one other little piece of bad news. If you get into a free throw shooting match with Dayton, you're probably not going to come out ahead, and that's what URI is doing right now. They're not shooting the ball very well from the free throw line, and Dayton shooting about 88%.
3 on the shot clock as Powell realized it late, and Dayton with the rebound. Fed down low to Josh Benson. Benson goes for a tumble, turnover. That's turnover number 7 for the Flyers, and it's going to be a turnover back the other way as Mumford kicked it into high gear, but that high gear a little too fast.
Forgot to put the ball on the floor. And Nick Milesevich, another good play on the defensive end. He's playing an overmatched Benson, and Benson gives him a little high five down the other end because he knows he made a nice play. But Nick Milesevich, rather than trying to body up on Benson, who's a bigger player, simply backed away, and Benson hit the floor.
Here is that matchup again. And now an opening to the basket. Nice adjustment, but unable to finish. And a whistle goes against the Flyers. Push called on Devin Scott. He picks up his first personal foul and will go down the other end and shoot free throws. 9 team fouls on the Flyers, so 1-1 here for Nick Milesevich.
But Rhode Island very fortunate because Dayton is all over the glass. I mean, you just see blue shirts all over the rim. They're a big team. They get up on the glass extremely well. And Rhode Island's going to really have to fight to keep them off the glass the rest of this game.
1-1. As Abu mentioned, free throw shooting edge for the Flyers on the season, and so far in this game. Dayton is 7 of 8 from the free throw line. The Rams 3 for 6, but the turnover edge goes to Rhode Island. Already 8 turnovers for the Flyers. Here's Rhode Island with 2:45 to go in the first half, trailing by 3. They've made 5 3-pointers. Mumford can't make it 6. Milesevich, offensive rebound. Well, Abu pointed out early in this game. Here's a guy who's got the focus here tonight, scoring and doing some of the little things as well. The assist, the rebounds.
You know, and that's one of the reasons why he's in this basketball game, you know, playing so far 15, 16 minutes. He's not come out of the game. He's only come out of the game once. And then Dan Hurley got him right back in because he's doing so many things on the floor.
Mumford gets it with 5 on the shot clock. Lost his footing. Milesevich, a little one-hand runner, gets the roll.
And got fouled as well.
Got fouled, getting generous bounces, drawing contact. That foul goes against the Flyers, and guess who took the contact?
Got fouled the second time within about 5 seconds.
Only one was called, though.
But just very aware. Benson came right down the floor. Nick Milesevich gets in his way. Here he comes up with the loose ball, shoots that shot, gets fouled. Ball goes in, fortunately, for Rhode Island. We don't see the rest of that play, but he just stood right in Benson's way, right around the free throw line. Benson ran him right over.
Rhode Island with a chance to go in front. 1:45 to go, first half. They trail by a point. Buchanan outside Powell. Powell looking for Milesevich. Defended by Oliver. The feed inside, kick back around, and it results in an open shot for the top scorer on the Rams team. He just didn't make it.
Well, you can't draw it up any better. Rhode Island did a great job moving the ball around the perimeter. Got the ball to Ryan Brooks. He kicks it back outside, but Rhode Island not able to knock down one of those open 3-point shots.
Archie Miller, only a place where they could plug in their electronics, which is vital. But they did all they could here at the Ryan Center. You just had to make it through 2 feet of snow to get here. Traveling violation called on the Flyers. That's 10 turnovers. So they come out of the timeout and turn the basketball over. So nothing in sync right now for Archie Miller's team.
No, and T.J. Buchanan talked about the intangibles that he brings to this team. He forces that turnover, but it also could have been an offensive foul because he got great defensive position on the baseline against Pierre.
1 minute to play in the first half. Buchanan looks for the screen from Hare. Rolls off it, kicks it outside. Mumford passed on the outside shot. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Back for Powell. Hare's looking for the lob. Powell's going to try the jumper. Couldn't get it. Rebound for Pierre. 3 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock, and Dayton will hold for a final shot. Sanford. Rhode Island fans looking for a backcourt violation. The drive to the basket, not there. 10 seconds to go in the half. Powell's got plenty of time. Slows things down a little bit. Feeds it inside to Hare. Hare found a way to score, and it looks like Rhode Island will take a lead into the locker room at halftime, and they will. Kicked in here by the Rams coming out of the locker room to start the second half.
And the starting fast is going to have to happen on the defensive end for Rhode Island. We saw they created 10 turnovers against this Dayton team in the first half. They're going to need that same kind of effort, particularly with Dayton shooting the ball so very, very well when they have the opportunity, both from the outside and also points in the paint. They have a huge advantage, 14-8.
And right out of the locker room, a good start for the Flyers. They set a play, and a goaltending is called, so the Flyers go back in front.
And we saw that in the early part of that first half. Dayton was able to find a lot of holes. They got a lot of open shots on the inside as well as open shots on the outside. Rhode Island was able to tighten up their defense considerably and create 10 turnovers.
Starts with a hoop for Dillard on the goaltending. Dayton started 7 of 10 from the floor in this game, then went 4 of 12 to close out the half, and it's going to be a turnover for Rhode Island. Again, that number jumps out. When you take a look at the first half numbers, Dayton had 4 assists and 10 turnovers. URI had 9 assists and 5 turnovers. Big reason while Rhode Island took that lead in the locker room, but here they come out of the locker room. Dayton has scored, and Rhode Island has turned it over their first possession. Block here by Jordan Hare. Hare's 43rd block this year. Powell on the pull-up. Yes, good answer by Mike Powell.
Well, that's what I mean. You want to see Jordan Hare be much more aggressive on the defensive end. He's got to anticipate when folks are coming down the lane. He's got to go get those shots.
That block credited to Mumford. The outlet to Powell has Milesevic in front, Mumford behind. Powell, the look away to Hare, knocked away. And 2 turnovers already for Rhode Island here in the second half. Sanford, the follow-up is good by Devin Oliver.
You know, and you saw that move down low by Mike Powell that time. He tried to slip the ball to Jordan Hare. He's just not savvy enough on the inside yet to be able to pick up those kinds of plays and be able to catch those passes.
Powell, nice dish inside to Milesevic. And Nick Milesevic is in the double figures with 10. Third assist of the night for Powell.
Great play that time. URI able to find a hole in the Dayton defense that time.
Sanford, double team comes, Malone and Mumford there. 10 on the shot clock. Dillard wants a screen. Kicks it, open look for Pierre. Short, Milesevic, another rebound. Tipped away, but into the hands of Hare to Powell. Kick out to Mumford, 3 on the way. Short, Hare, offensive rebound. Well done by the freshman.
Nice job by Jordan Hare that time. Came up with the offensive rebound. Doesn't get a lot of those. Went straight up with a nice little jump hook. Good move by the freshman.
Pierre for Scott. Sanford. Dillard looking for a little help. Kick to Pierre. The feed inside for Scott for 2.
It was sort of twice. Once for Dayton, once for URI. Jordan Hare with that offensive rebound on the other end. The reason why that happened certainly was because URI moved the ball so very effectively that Pierre had to switch up on Hare. It was no match for him on the offensive glass.
Milesevic had time to tee up a 3, and he is having his best night in a while. 13 points. That 3 has stretched the lead out to 4. It's the largest of the night for the Rams. Scott. That's a little pass to Oliver. Couldn't finish, though, and Hare rips away a rebound. Mike Powell. Malone will try a 3 and make a 3. Timeout called by the Flyers. Assist totals in this game here tonight. Timeout taken by Dayton. Let's see what they get out of the timeout, and a foul is going to be called on Milesevic as he was bodying Benson at the top of the key. Buchanan, I beg your pardon, gets the foul. The foul on Buchanan, his second. Robinson into the game for the Flyers. Out to Sanford. Open three is good. That's V. Sanford, a 33% three-point shooter. His first points of the night. And out of the timeout, Dayton gets a field goal.
Well, and that's a great way for them to get back and make this a tight ball game once again.
They look for a hair on the lob, but it's thrown away. And now Sanford to Benson. The block by Milosevic. He's the one who had the turnover on one end, but comes back and makes up for it. But Sanford can't hit a three. It was open.
I can't think of very many plays that Milosevic has made tonight that were poor plays. That pass was an ill-advised one that where Dayton came up with the turnover. He had an open shot right at the three-point line, but elected not to take it, using a little bit of the shot clock.
Takes off down the lane and will go to the free throw line when we come back. The thing about that turnover, he threw the pass away. He hustled back and made the defensive play. He continues to make plays. He's not sulking. He's not dwelling on a mistake. Nick Milosevic at the free throw line, 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists here tonight. He's 5 of 11 from the floor, and you see it 3 for 5 from outside the three-point line. 2 free throws. First one no good for Milosevic, who's now 0 for 2 from the line tonight.
Well, if there's one Achilles heel for Rhode Island in this game is the fact that they're not making their free throws when they have the opportunity, and this could come down to a free throw shooting game, and they simply have to put the ball in the basket from the free throw line.
They are 3 for 8 tonight from the free throw line. Abu. Robinson, who picked up the foul, his third personal, takes 3 steps. Traveling.
Again, Rhode Island able to come back in this game. They've got 5 blocks in this game. Milosevic having one. Jordan Hare's got a couple. I think we saw Xavier Munford come up with a couple of blocks as well. So that's one of the things they've been doing. They've been really competing on the inside.
Hare to the bench right now. Mike Amon into the game. Milosevic to Powell. Buchanan, Powell, Mumford, Amon, Milosevic. The 5 on the floor right now for the Rams. Trying to end a 6-game losing streak. Milosevic really stretched it out for three-point range. Amon fighting for it. Flyers come away with it. Here's Diller. Look away to Robinson. Had it knocked out of his hands, but Flyers still with it. And a foul.
Dayton getting really loose with the basketball on the other end. Rhode Island, unfortunately, not able to come up with the basketball and create yet another turnover.
Speaking of getting loose, Jordan Hare was just stretching out down in the corner there, but he's going to move right into the I'm ready to go into the game seat.
That's kind of how I was stretching doing that shoveling on Saturday.
You were supposed to stretch before and after.
Oh, believe you me, I stretch before, after, eat before and after.
Oh, did you bend what's left of your knees?
I did bend my knees. I couldn't move them for a couple of days, but I did bend them while I was shoveling.
Powell comes to the bench. Devin Oliver in a 3-point game. One of 2 from the free throw line for the junior from Kalamazoo. He has 6, and it's a 2-point game. So with Powell on the bench, Buchanan will run the show. Hands off to Mumford. Amon to Mumford. Milosevic, oh, wide open Malone. Got it. 3-pointer for Andre Malone. Breakdown by Dayton. You can't let a shooter like Malone get that open.
Absolutely. He had 2 personal fouls in that first half, but has come back and made a couple of nice shots from the outside. And fortunately for Rhode Island, he's been able to knock those shots down because they certainly haven't done it from the free throw line. There, Nick Milosevic, once again, I give him yet another assist on that play. Malone just to catch and shoot.
So Malone gets the 3. Meanwhile, a little bit of controversy here on the other end. Malone has been whistled for his 3rd personal foul, and they gave the field goal to Pierre. They said the basket was good. Let's watch this again.
Pierre going on the inside. That foul happened at least 2 dribbles before he shot the basketball. I'm not sure what the referee saw on that play.
Offensive rebound, second chance for Dayton. They can't score. Alwyn Bigby into the game. The quick outlet to Mumford, and here come the Rams. Mumford to Buchanan. Buchanan back to Mumford. An open 3, and he rattles it in. Rhode Island continues to make Dayton pay from outside the three-point line, and they lead by 6.
And one of the things that Dan Hurley has to be happy with is that Rhode Island continues to rack up the assists in this game. They're playing unselfishly. They're finding the hot players where they can shoot the basketball.
Amen. The rebound. Here's Buchanan. Door hasn't been kicked in yet. That was the request from head coach Dan Hurley. Still a long way to go, but they keep nudging it a little more open each time down the floor as Bigby is on the score sheet.
And T.J. Buchanan with a great look and a great pass to Bigby on the inside. Once again, another assist for Rhode Island.
8-point lead, the largest for the Rams. Hurley told Mike, we don't want this team to relax, and they haven't. You see the dive by Buchanan and a backcourt violation. Turnover on the Flyers.
Well, I'm almost certain that the officials missed the backcourt in the first half when V. Sanford stepped on the line. But here, the great hustle by T.J. Buchanan forces that backcourt violation.
I love the reaction. You saw Buchanan tugging at his shirt. Universal sign for, I could really use a rest. When you dive in the second base like that head first, you deserve a rest. So Buchanan heads to the bench. It's Malone, Amon, Mumford, Milesevic, and Bigby, the 5 right now for Rhodey. There's Milesevic, quick drive to the basket, the block. Well done by Matt Derenbecker, and it'll be Flyer basketball.
Yeah, and that was close to being a goaltending call, but it was not because that ball was still on its way up and had not hit the backboard yet. Milesevic that time looked like he got a little off balance and couldn't quite get himself up in the air to make a stronger attempt at that basket, but a good move nonetheless.
Sanford off for Derenbecker. Sanford spinning, trouble, and count it, and the foul. What a finish by V. Sanford. And he'll have a chance to finish off a 3-point play when we come back to the Ryan Center. 11:59. We know it's a bit of a struggle for him right now. Obviously, a big supporter and follower of Rhode Island sports and basketball. So, Bob, we hope you're doing well. And our thoughts are with you and yours. Sanford at the free throw line converts on the 3-point play. Five-point game. Bigby to Milesevic. The 3. Back iron. No good. Pierre the rebound. Quick first step. Acceleration to the basket by Sanford, who throws it down, and a timeout called by Rhode Island against UMass. The Muse Tavern, more than just a restaurant, and home of the Dan Hurley Radio Show. For more information, visit musetavern.com. The lob to Hare. Stuck with it for 2.
Oh, great play by the freshman that time. He's not going to miss very many passes when you throw it above the rim that way. Very difficult opportunity, but he goes right back up and tips that one in with his left hand.
Buchanan is back into the game, and a traveling violation. Hare standing his ground defensively. Benson's the one who walked.
And doing a much better job at standing his ground, not giving up position that time, and not fouling the player, which is most important. Force Benson into that traveling violation. And of course, Dan Hurley was very unhappy with Xavier Mumford's defense. We talked about the help defense, but for V. Sanford to get to the basket that easily on the baseline, wasn't very happy with Xavier Mumford's defense.
Powell for Milesevic. 10.5 to play. Rhode Island on top by 5. They had a 1-point lead at halftime. Jordan Hare Not his game outside the paint yet. It will come with time. Dillard, that is Jordan Hare's game, though.
It definitely is. That time, Dillard tried to maneuver his way around 2 URI defenders, and Jordan Hare had it timed perfectly. And when he is a senior, you know what will happen with that block?
They'll stay in play.
It'll stay in play to hit us in the head over here.
He'll get a little more distance on this block.
Plenty of opportunity to be able to direct that in play for Rhode Island and cause a fast break, but he'll learn.
I think back to the Milosevic turnover here in the second half. Then Hare with an ill-advised shot comes back and makes up for it on the other end. Here's Milosevic trying to track down a loose ball, and he does. We've seen that from Rhode Island from time to time tonight. If a player makes a mistake, and they haven't made a ton of mistakes here tonight, they try to make up for it on the other end. Milosevic knew he missed that three, but had help from a friend there. Mumford with the rebound and put back.
And Dan Hurley gets Xavier Mumford right back in the game, and it pays dividends with him coming up with a second chance opportunity.
7-point game. Robinson, and a foul is going to be called on Hare. That will be his first personal foul. Jordan Hare has 8 points and 7 rebounds tonight. 13 points and 8 rebounds for Milosevic to go along with 5 assists. You see the line for Hare.
And a tough call against Jordan Hare at the time. Really had pretty good position, but just doesn't establish his feet. There you see the body contact.
Here's Dillard. He's the guy who has to get going here for the Flyers. Their leading scorer, 9th in the conference at 15 points a game. He has 8 here tonight. Kicks it. Stanford for 3. Well off the mark. Powell doesn't have numbers, but still on the push. Now he'll settle things down as we approach 9 minutes to go in the second half. Mumford, three-pointer is short. Easy rebound for Robinson.
That was a tough shot by Xavier Mumford that time. I think Darren Hurley would have liked to see maybe just 1 or 2 more passes.
Pierre takes a couple of bumps and eventually is fouled by Mumford. That will be his first personal. Six team fouls now on Rhode Island. 1 team foul on Dayton.
Rhode Island playing really good defense, but also racking up the fouls against Dayton. Dayton doesn't have any. They're going to be able to take advantage of that a little bit later in the basketball game if they're behind.
One area where they've taken advantage of Rhode Island in this game is at the free throw line. Dayton is 11 of 13 from the free throw line. We talked about Rhode Island's issues. 3 of 8 from the line here tonight. 1 of 2 for Pierre.
And one thing for certain is that Rhode Island maintains this lead, you're going to see Rhode Island going to the free throw line because Dayton will certainly put them there because they have not demonstrated they've been able to make free throws.
Mumford with a beautiful crossover, took it to the basket with his left hand. He has 12. And it's knocked away. Another turnover for Dayton. That's number 14 for the Flyers. Powell in trouble and taken away by Dillard. 9th turnover for the Rams. Numbers the other way. Oliver caught it deep, had help from Pierre. Pierre, the first Flyer into double figures. He has 11, and it's back to a 6-point game as we approach 8 minutes to go.
And Mike Powell very excited coming down what he thought was a fast break opportunity. Not a good decision. That was not a good opportunity just to be able to bring the ball out because Rhode Island has been very effective in their half-court offense.
Milosevic. Kicked over to Buchanan, had a little trouble gathering it, but once he gathered it, he was able to knock it down for a 2.
Well, TJ Buchanan loves that corner. We've seen him knock down 3-pointers from that corner before, and he does it once again. And that was a big shot by TJ Buchanan that time.
8-point lead for Rhode Island. And lost out of bounds. Last touch by Rhodey, and that will get us to Aid Center's the most trusted name in hearing aids, offering free hearing tests. Call 800-925-HERE for an appointment today. The Rams have made 9 3-pointers tonight. They're 9 for 20 outside the 3-point line. And they have an 8-point lead Closing in on 7 minutes to play. 2 on the shot clock. Sanford has come through here in the second half, hasn't he? All his scoring in the second half. He has 11 points now. Inside of 7 to play, 5-point game.
Well, he's really come on in the second half. That was a tough shot. Xavier Mumford right in front of him.
Mumford finds an opening and was bumped on his way down the lane. That will just be the second team foul on the Flyers. And they say it was before the shot, so no 1-and-1.
And again, Hurley reminding the referees about the opportunity that Dayton had down the other end when he was fouled clearly with way outside the basket. He was given 2 free throws. I think that was Pierre, and that
Mumford travel. Rhode Island now into double figures with 10 turnovers. They have 16 assists on 24 field goals tonight, with Milosevic leading the way with 6 assists. He has a double-double tonight, 13 points, 10 rebounds, and then add in the 6 assists and 3 steals. It's been a very, very good game. Here he is defensively trying to make it tough on Sanford, but no one picked up Pierre, who threw it down. He has 15 points.
Now, one of the things that's been the case certainly for both of these teams has been able to close games. Here we got closing in on 5 minutes to go in the game. We'll see which team is able to do that. Rhode Island certainly was able to go down to Auburn and win in double overtime. Great victory for them there, but they're going to need that same kind of effort, and they're also going to need to make free throws as this game winds down.
They're going to get Malone into the game next opportunity with 4 fouls. Now 8 on the shot clock. Milosevic, 5 to shoot. And a traveling violation on Milosevic. So here comes Malone playing with 4 as Buchanan will head to the bench.
Well, they lose the advantage of T.J. Buchanan and his defensive effort, but Andre Malone was certainly hot at the beginning of that second half, and I know they wish that he's going to be able to make a few more shots from the outside. Rhode Island not doing very well, not very efficient in the last few times, down a couple travel violations.
Malone's been held to 13 minutes tonight because of the foul trouble. He is 3 for 3 from the field. And a foul called against the Flyers. Oliver, I think, got whistled. Archie Miller is looking for an explanation. It is the 3rd personal foul on Devin Oliver. Yeah, that's Oliver running up on Amon, which I think Archie Miller is wondering why that doesn't just get let go. It wasn't. It's a foul, and it's Rhode Island basketball. 3 team fouls now on the Flyers. Here's Malone. Feeding it inside to Mike Amon. He has 6 points. First points of the second half. And that ends the little mini run by the Flyers at 5-0.
A nice play by Malone. They've been closing out on him. Rhode Island tried to get the ball to him on the 3-point line. Did it a couple times. They closed out on Andre Malone. He put the ball on the floor, and that way was able to find Mike Amon on the inside.
Amon gets called for the foul. That's team foul number 7 on the Rams. 3rd personal on Mike Amon. And now it's the free throw line for UD. 70% as a team this season. That's 8th in the conference, but tonight they are 11 of 14. Here comes Devin Scott into the game. Abu talked about these close games and how it's been a struggle for the Flyers, including the loss to Temple, 72-71. They have lost 5 games by 1 or 2 points, and Miller says this team lacks what he called winning swagger. So when the game is on the line and you're looking for a guy to take a shot, it's almost like a hot potato. It's like, well, this isn't my spot, you take it. So no one has that quote, in the words of the head coach for the Flyers, winning swagger, collectively as a team or individually. I'd say Dillard is probably the closest they have to a go-to guy right now.
Well, no doubt. I mean, they're going to need to have Dillard in the game. He's coming out right now, have a little bit of rest. I'm sure he'll be back in the game very, very soon. probably out just for defensive purposes. But he's going to get back in the basketball game. If there's one guy that they can go to, and certainly with the Rams being over the limit right now as far as fouls are concerned, is to get the ball in Dillard's hand, create opportunities for him to get to the basket, and hopefully Rhode Island fouls him, certainly from Dayton's perspective, because he is deadly from the free throw line.
Dillard getting a rest, but we are approaching that 4-minute media timeout, so we'll build a little extra time in for the best player for Dayton. Rhode Island with the basketball and a 3-point lead, 6 on the shot clock. Powell feeds it inside to Amon, who bobbled it, scored, and was fouled.
Well, they've been able to find Mike Amon on the block, and he's done a pretty good job down there, especially when he's able to just turn and shoot that ball with his left hand off the backboard. That time he got it on the inside, a little contact. Mike Amon a little bit more proficient down on the block. Uses his body strength and also position. Nice job by Mike Powell and Mike Amon.
Here's Alwayne Bigby. Dillard does come back into the game as Dayton gets ready to go back on offense. Amon finishing the 3-point play. He has 9 points, and the lead is 6. Sanford's been the guy here in the second half for the Flyers. Dillard gets by Bigby, takes it all the way to the basket, had it blocked. Fight for the loose ball is on, lost out of bounds. Last touch by Buchanan, and it'll be Flyers basketball with 11 on the shot clock.
Well, Dayton has found some holes in the Rhode Island defense, but Rhode Island also has done a nice job converging on players coming into the lane. That time, once again, they come up with a block shot and almost came up with the loose ball underneath T.J. Buchanan once again on the floor.
Back up top to Pierre. Pierre, open look for 3, no good. Powell with the rebound, and he was fouled. Josh Benson gets whistled for the foul. It'll be Rhode Island basketball when we come back to the Ryan Center. 3-5 helped Rhode Island to this league. Bring home Dunkin's new Caramel Cake Cup packs. They're only available at Dunkin', so hurry in and grab yours today. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Out of the timeout, a turnover by Rhode Island, and a block by Milosevic. Pinned it and saved it, but Dillard has it.
Almost came up with that basketball. Mike Powell comes down, just gives the basketball back to Dayton, unfortunately, for Rhode Island, so they're going to have to dig down and play defense once again.
Amon tipped it away. Dillard will reset. Rhode Island on top by 6. Their largest lead, 8. Came here in the second half. Wide open look for 3 is good. Devin Oliver now has 10 points, 24% outside the 3-point line this season, but he's 2 for 3 tonight.
Well, he's made a couple of shots from the 3-point line that have looked really good.
Oh, how about Amon? Feeling a little confident down low. Draws the contact and will go to the free throw line.
A great move by Amon that time. Had the wide open shot. If he had shot the ball with his right hand, went back to his left, and that created the foul. We saw Mike Amon shoot that free throw the last time he was at the line. Knocked it right down. Not noted for his free throw shooting, certainly, but they really need him to be able to knock down these free throws. Here's the beautiful play, but came right back to the middle where he was forced to foul. Gonna have to work on that little right hand baby hook.
You're so
before
picky.
The game next year.
Guys in double figures just switched a free throw. The 4th personal foul on Benson, all in this trip down the floor.
Doing a great job.
Oh, okay.
Shoot the right hand hook. Bam. Mike Amon
into double figures for the 3rd time in his Rhode Island career, and Rhodey on top by 5. Less than 3 to play. Both teams have struggled putting away teams. Of the 8 losses in conference play for Rhode Island, 7 have come by single digits, so they've been in games. Amon gets called for the foul. 18 fouls now on the Rams. 4th personal foul on Mike Amon.
That is such a tough play for the defense to play that pick and roll and to play that screen way up high. That time Mike Amon does the right thing, coming out to help out. Has the body, puts the body on Dillard that time, forces him forces the referee to make that call. Unfortunate for Rhode Island. And for Dayton, they have the right guy on the line, Kevin Dillard, as we mentioned before, deadly from the free throw line.
Perfect on the first one. He now has 11, 87% on the season. Ray Perry just handed me over the note of the night. Last 2 minutes of the game this season for Dillard, 30 for 30 from the free throw line. Still outside of that 2-minute window, but you get the idea. This guy has done what he can to try to put games away for the Flyers, but he's going to need a supporting cast here for them to pick up their first road victory. It is now a one-possession game with 2.5 to play. Milosevic knocked out of his hands. Finds Mumford. Mumford was bumped. Got the basket and the foul.
Well, Xavier Mumford is also a prime-time Atlantic 10 player. That time he got bumped. Once again, that move to the left. Here's a little step move to the left. Dillard can't do anything with him. That's a foul. That's a great play for Rhode Island. They really needed that basket right then. And Rhode Island, and of course, need to make the free throw to extend this lead to 6.
And one of their top players is done for the night. Josh Benson picks up his 5th personal foul. Mumford to the free throw line. Finishes the three-point play. He has 15 points, still a little under his average. There you see Benson. All 6 of those points came in the first half. There goes a 6'9" senior to the bench. Well, Dillard takes it. Amon playing with 4 fouls. Great confidence shown by Dan Hurley to keep him on the floor here with the 4. 2 minutes to play with the Rams on top by 6.
And that time Mike Amon played that pick and roll perfectly. Gave Dillard a little bit of space. He helped out, recovered back to his man, and came up with a rebound.
Mumford deep 3. Rebound to Dayton. Pulled in by Robinson up to Dillard.
Nice job by Mike Amon again on that screen against Dillard. Young man learns quickly.
Feeds it inside, couldn't get it. Amon fighting there, gets called for the foul, and a chance for a 3-point play as Robinson scores.
A nice play by Robinson that time. Mike Amon puts his hand straight up in the air, but Robinson creates the contact, comes up with the foul. And Mike Amon inside, really working hard. There's Nick Milosevic as well. Mike Amon just not able to come up with the rebound. I think Mike Amon just put his hand straight up in the air, but Robinson created the contact. Referees called it. Not sure that was a foul on Mike Amon.
Amon fouls out, scores 11 points, was 4 of 6 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. The night is over for the freshman as he reaches double figures for the 2nd time in conference play.
And now that he's healthy and able to play again, he gives Rhode Island a nice dimension, an additional dimension on the inside, because he has good post moves on the inside. He certainly fights on the defensive end, is able to come up with rebounds, and he's going to be tough. He's not going to give up easy stuff on the inside.
3-point play from Jalen Robinson. 3-point lead for Rhode Island. Powell. Xavier Mumford. Jordan Hare into the game for Amon. Buchanan, Powell, Milosevic, Mumford, and Hare, the 5 on the floor. 15 on the shot clock as Rhode Island works clock. The game clock ticks towards a minute to play here at the Ryan Center with Milosevic. Will he try to do it himself? Spinning, fading, block. Good defensive play by Oliver. And here come the Flyers with less than a minute to play. Timeout called by Dayton.
From the very beginning of this basketball game, he's been into it all the way, and he's produced. And Dan Hurley has rewarded him by giving him time on the floor.
Wherever you go, there is a Supercuts to give you a cut that rocks. Supercuts has 31 Providence area locations, all dedicated to making you feel like a rock star. Check out supercuts.com to find a location near you. Rock the cut at Supercuts. Out of the timeout, Flyers with the basketball to the basket, can't score. The follow-up is good from Devin Oliver. He has 12. The lead is down to 1. 3 seconds the difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and Dillard called for the foul. And that will send Mike Powell to the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1.
Well, we talked about Dayton. Probably if they were down, they were going to foul Rhode Island and make them approve themselves from the free throw line. Mike Powell, however, one of URI's better free throw shooters at 76%. Is certainly for Rhode Island, he's the guy that they want on the line.
Second on the team at 76%. First trip tonight. As a team tonight, we remind you, Rhode Island, it's been a struggle. 7 of 12 from the free throw line. So here's Powell, 1 and 1. Perfect. It was the 8th team foul on the Flyers.
And the anticipation of that free throw. This place is so quiet you could hear a pin drop.
I love it. Quieter than the library on finals week. Andre Malone back in the game again with 4 fouls. Hare heads to the bench. Shot clock is off. Game clock ticks towards 30. It's a 3-point lead for Rhode Island. Pierre spins, doesn't get it to go. And it comes to Mike Powell. Clock continues to tick. No foul given yet, and now a foul. No, a timeout. No foul. Timeout called by Rhode Island.
And Dan Hurley a little concerned that his team would not be able to get the ball over.
Very early in this game with 14 minutes to go in the first half, but the three-pointer got Rhode Island right back into it.
Well, they executed beautifully. I mean, they moved the ball extremely well. They were very unselfish, moving the basketball. And here at Rhode Island, it simply has to try to get a play where they either get the ball to Andre Malone or Mike Powell, both of them being the best free throw shooters on this team. And so that's what they're going to have to do right now.
Buchanan reminded that he could not run the baseline. He gets it into Mumford, and he will go to the free throw line. Guy who's been to the line more than any other Ram this season and has made 74% of his free throw attempts. That's the 9th team foul on Dayton. So the final 1 and 1 of the game here for Rhode Island.
And Xavier Mumford, not a bad guy to get the ball in his hands as well. Shooting, as you mentioned, shooting free throws at about 74%.
1 and 1. In and out. That door is open now for the Flyers, down by 3. And here is their top player, Dillard. Dillard will launch a 3 for the tie and make it. Timeout called by the Flyers with 8.8 to go.
0.8 seconds to go, and I certainly would believe that you're going to see Mike Powell and or Xavier Mumford try to take the ball down the floor and get as close to the basket as possible. URI has been very, very good. 8.8 is plenty of time to be able to dribble the ball down the floor, and certainly if one of those guys is double teamed, we've seen them make good passes, and Andre Malone watch him on the outside just in case one of those guys is double teamed.
Will it be more magic against UD for Rhode Island? They've won 5 in a row. They've done it in dramatic fashion in the past. Here's Mumford launching a 3 and making a 3 with 3.3 to go. The Flyers put it back into play. Here's Dillard. Dillard launches off the ball.